But I challenge you guys right now, in my mind, in my team's mind, 2021 starts today. Okay, you can't start getting prepared for the new year in the new year. You got to already have your game plan in place. Does that make sense to everybody?
Teach that.
Okay, so let's talk about the gift and the curse. You know, I'm one of the more experienced people here. I've been with this company now going into 12 years and almost 10 months, going into my 13th year the following year.
Nice.
And I, myself, along with Isaiah and Andre, got a chance to meet with Simon. And here's the difference. You know, Simon actually hired me, you guys. Hired me. Think about that. The guy hired me 12 years ago in Columbus, Ohio. He was my regional director. And in the same time frame, I look at his career and I look at my career, and we're light years apart. You get what I'm saying? Not because of lack of opportunity. It was a different vision, a different discipline. You see, the gift and the curse of this business is that you can get to a point where complacency and comfort can set in, especially once you cross over the six-figure mark. It's very easy to do. But in order to push yourself to the next level, you got to challenge yourself to push yourself to go the extra mile, okay? You have to look deep within. So one of the things I want to talk to you guys, and what I learned from him, and Andre's been saying it over time, discipline and details. You see, being in leadership is a little bit tougher than just being an agent, because in leadership, you guys got to understand that not only do I have to challenge myself, but I have to be responsible for challenging other people. You know, we all know who Kobe Bryant was and Michael Jordan is, and I watched a documentary on them on leadership the other day, because I've been really diving in my bag on that a little bit more, because I'm really focused on leadership this year. That's where my eye is. And one of the things that you hear that's very synonymous to two of these guys is that Michael Jordan was always talked, we always heard of him being a tough teammate. And the real reason he was a tough teammate is because he didn't accept excuses, right? The same thing copied out with Kobe Bryant. And what you notice, if you look at each guy's results, they got very similar results. We can all agree to that, right? 6 world championships and 5 world championships. But the power was in the details, being disciplined, being committed to a schedule. And as Simon spoke to me and Eli and told us about ourselves, it wasn't so much we didn't have the tools. It was more of a self-reflection piece to say, what have we not done to get to the levels? Because we have the tools and we've been giving it to it, and we figured it out. It's in the discipline. You guys get what I'm saying? Being focused. And that's what I'm talking about with my team right now. It's the simplicity of this business to be in a vehicle that can take you wherever you want to go financially. As long as you commit to it, it will commit to you. Does that make sense? So, criticism. Talked about being criticized. I've been doing a lot more reading. And sometimes with being criticized, you guys, it's tough to take criticism, because our natural instinct is to rebuttal criticism, to justify why someone sees us in a certain light. But we also do ourselves a disservice in that moment. And the reason we do ourselves a disservice in that moment is because criticism is the window to opportunity for growth. So if you're justifying why someone is critiquing you and not open to learning, you will continue to make the same mistakes over and over again, because you have now cut out the learning process. Does that make sense? So we got to make sure we're open to being criticized, because it's only there for you to grow. Every leader in this room, only job is to help bring out the full potential in you. Confrontation. Sometimes confrontation may seem like the wrong thing, but as a leader, and I challenge all my leaders, don't be afraid of confrontation with your agents, especially if you're getting ready to pull the best out of them. In fact, you do that person a disservice by not holding them accountable, by not holding their feet to the fire, because you're robbing them from being able to walk in their full potential by allowing them to be mediocre, which internalizes you're going to meet an opposition or an opponent who doesn't accept the same thing, and they're going to wipe the floor with you because their team's more disciplined. And the only person you got to hold responsible for that is yourself as a leader. Does that make sense? Okay. So what does 2020 look like for you guys? Here's the thing. With COVID, I talk about that a lot because it's very, very symbolic. COVID changed the world, but more importantly, it put more restrictions in place, right? So the virus caused restriction, right? Restricting on time parameters. Can't go here, can't do this. Why? Because of the virus. The question is, what does your 2020 look like? Are you the virus of your own life? Are you the one that's causing your own personal restrictions? These are self-reflective moments you have to ask yourself. And sometimes taking an internal inventory of oneself ain't the easiest thing in the world. Sometimes the scariest thing in the world to look at is a mirror, for you to have an honest conversation with yourself. So I challenge you guys to make sure that you reflect on where you are. I challenge you guys to take 2021 and start today. My 2021 started last week, and I'm on a path next week. I mean, it's final 30 days to go into overdrive January 1. We're not hitting the ground at 30 miles an hour. We're going 100 miles an hour because we got goals to hit and dreams to accomplish. The last thing I want to talk to you guys about is the cheat code. One thing Simon said that was really cool. He talked about the cheat code in business. And what he means is that sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel, you guys. You can learn exactly what Andre did to stand as an SGA under age 40 and run a multi-million-dollar company before most people, have any opportunity to even think about retiring. It's not unavailable for you. Everything's available and it's right at the tip of your fingers, and it all depends on what steps you guys to take. Here's the problem in this business. If you guys don't change yourselves, this business will still give you the results that you got the previous year and the previous year before that. But the question is, do you want to grow? And the only person responsible for your growth, it's not Brenda's job to make you grow. It's not Andre's job to make you grow. It's your job to make you grow. So at the end of the day, take more accountability for yourselves, you guys. And at the end, I was learning this. Simon said something that was really cool. And I really like this quote, and I want you guys to take it in. He talked about the discipline of getting a good night's rest, something that's kind of undervalued. But his statement was this, and as I reflected, he said, early to bed, early to rise makes you wealthy and wise. So I'm going to say it again. Early to bed, early to rise makes one wealthy and wise. Think about that for a second. And he's talking about the characteristics of wealthy people. So when I look at him at 37 years old with a $10 million net worth and scheduled to get $100,000 in residual income in the next 24 months, I think you know what he's talking about. You guys be blessed. Peace.